Ladies and gentlemen, we are live from the Steel Twins recording studio in the cherry capital of the world, Traverse City, Michigan. Introducing your hosts, the Cannonball, the Cannon, the Steel Twins.
What's up, everybody? It's Monday night, and you know what that means. Maddie is front and center, as always. We're glad to see you. Hi, Maddie. Woohoo! But, folks, we are not alone.
That's right.
So, joining us from the St. Jude's charity stream from yesterday, let's get your kickstands up and put a big round of applause for the Gamer Biker. Say hi, brother.
Gamer Biker in the house.
Oh, I love that. That's great. Yeah. So you can't see him. If you want, I think he's running a stream parallel to ours. So if you want to see his face, you can go on his stream. But if you want to see our lovely faces, you can stay on this stream. But you will be able to hear him in the background as he, helps us with our acting. And folks, it is part 2. I keep forgetting to mention this. It's our series, not series, season finale. This is what season is this? Season 11 or season 12?
Season 11.
The finale of season 11, part 2, and it's case number 5 of Dual Destinies, turnabout for tomorrow. So to catch everybody up, we found out that Solomon Starbuck has been cleared of all charges. For all murder charges, but Athena Cykes, one of the three lawyers of the Wright Anything agency, has been indicted because a lighter was found with her fingerprints on it. Even though we swear up and down and we absolutely believe that she had absolutely nothing to do with this murder.
And after a lengthy investigation, we found out that Wright Blackquill, a researcher at the robotics lab, has taken visitors hostage at the Space Center.
Yep, the Space Center is a museum, and it's also a public, it's a federal tourist attraction and a federal research center, and there are hostages. And Aura's mission is to get Athena Cykes, handed over to her so she can punish her she believes that Athena Cykes killed her own, Athena's own mother.
What?
And
matricide? No.
Matricide. No. And let's see.
Okay, I can only stay for a minute. Let's make it count. Boobs, panties, farts, much love, twins. Josh Dickerson has entered the chat. Josh, good to see you, bud.
Yep.
I recognize.
You recognize the shirts? Yeah. I love these shirts. The trip that we went down when we went down to Florida with Verdi and Ace.
Yeah,
that was so much fun.
And now, if you'll look at the screen here and you look to the right here,
yes,
it's that QR code from yesterday.
Yeah,
that's right. You could still make donations to St. Jude's Children's Hospital. So far, we have raised $70. Our goal is $2,000. Do not hesitate. Scan that QR code. Make your donations. Every dollar counts, no matter how little you give.
And also, if you go to our About page on our Twitch channel, you'll find the link to the donation there. And the Gamer Biker is heading up the charity. You can find the link on his page too. So, so Gamer Biker, do you want to add anything to that?
You guys did pretty good. We had ourselves a little bit of a rough start at first, but it got better overall. And we're going to be doing these charities all around with the team, with you guys, myself, and the rest of our guys. Rob Frost, we had Kevin Calloway, we had PK Batman, and we had King Hades Gaming, like all together. All throughout the next couple of weeks, they'll be streaming for this charity with St. Jude's, and it's great to see. All the streamers combined as a one big stable. We'll put it that way. One big stable.
Yep.
For one goal, and that's for the kids.
Absolutely. It's a noble cause to get behind. Well, folks, I think there's only one thing left to do on our side. let me do the honors here.
Yes, go ahead.
So,
be my guest.
we're unofficially sponsored by C4. We got this popsicle grape.
Oh, Manny says where again is the link to donate?
Oh, it's on our About page on Twitch, and if you just hold on 1 second, I'll actually go grab it right now.
Hang in there, folks.
Yep.
We just need.
I'll still be doing my incentives as we get donations, throughout the next couple of weeks, and we already know that I've got some fun ones.
Wait, hold
and
on.
There it is.
We got something?
We got something.
Oh.
Did we get
We got ourselves a $25 donation.
All right. Yay.
$25 donation from Bupini.
Oh, yeah, here it is. Silly goose.
Come on.
So just copy link address. I didn't have to do all that crazy stuff.
$25 donation. Let's check my incentives here. Oh, and that's a change sensitivity level during gameplay. So, we're not doing any gameplays with sensitivity levels, but I would be happy to. I'll be happy to do any of the others.
So Bupini, if he's the guy that donated, that is Maddie's significant other, Alex Pulowski. Thank you so much. Yeah. So now we're just under $100. Keep giving till it hurts.
All right. Without further ado,
just $5. Just $5 from
$5 is all you need, kids. All you need. And tell your friends. So, we have the C4 ready. So if you have a cap to your bottle or a pin on your drink, you go ahead and pull that pin back or twist that cap off. A package. What time is it?
it's time to get bombed.
Cheers.
Cheers, mate.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait anymore. We gotta get going.
Let's get the shindig
Live scene.
Let's go.
Okay, so Gamer Biker should be able to follow along with us, and even if there's a slight delay, but this was a tried and true formula we had when we had the other three voice actors on, Madison Warren Coombs, Keyblade Sonic, and Misty Bell, aka Misty Jin. I do miss those guys, by the way.
Me too, absolutely.
Yeah. They would have been aces in this Ace Attorney.
We would love to have them back.
Yeah, we gotta find a way to pay him first. Yeah. Anyway, so
I probably can't compete with them, but I would do my best.
Oh, you'll be fine. You're here. That's all that matters. So, let us begin part 2 of our season finale. It's the continuation of Turnabout for tomorrow.
Good news. The check cleared. It's go time.
I've been waiting all week for this. I swear to God, I want to get to the end of this. All right. December 20th, 3:11 p.m. District Court. Defendant Lobby number 5.
I did a little research. I looked into those special psych locks you mentioned, Mr. Nick.
You did? That's great. I really appreciate it.
A red psych lock protects a secret a person is consciously trying to hide.
Yeah, we've seen those before.
If the person folds under questioning, the lock breaks and the truth comes out.
Yep, that's exactly how I got the truth out of Detective Fulbright and Director Cosmos.
But a black psych lock protects a secret from the deepest place in a person's heart. A secret that the person isn't even consciously aware of.
Oh, so that's what that means. Well, then what the heck did they show up for Christoph Gavin in the last game? He was clearly aware he was a dickhead.
I know.
Anyway. So even they don't know it's there.
Athena isn't trying to keep anything from you on purpose. For some reason, part of her heart and her memories are sealed off, even from herself.
It's a seriously traumatic memory that she chose to bury deep within herself. Stay tuned for more info on that, kids. Okay, so all I have to do is break the Cyclops.
According to my research, a black Cyclops is like a heavy chain wrapped directly around one's heart. If they are ripped off by force, it could cause permanent damage to a person's soul.
Ouch. Better be careful there. In other words, if I'm not careful, I could traumatize Athena for good. Pearls, could you stay by Athena's side? She must be suffering under the weight of such a heavy burden.
All right, but will you be all right by yourself, Mr. Nick?
I'm up against Edgeworth. I have to be able to give this trial all of my focus and strength.
And you can't do that if I'm there. I'll just hold you back.
No, that's not it. I just meant I can relax and concentrate if I knew you were with Athena. You're the only one who can do it, Pearls.
All right, I'll do it then. Good luck, Mr. Nick.
So Pearl Faye is okay. So if you're fans of the Ace Attorney series, Maya Faye was Phoenix Wright's protege throughout the entire first game, and then Pearl Faye is Maya's cousin, and Phoenix has known her since Pearls was 8 years old. So now she's 18. It's like 10 years later. So anyway, good. Now that my mind is at ease, I'd better get ready. I'll just tidy up the evidence and take out what I don't need. It's time to end this nightmare that started 7 years ago.
Damn right, son. Okay.
Knock, knock.
Who's there? December 20th. District Court. The ruins of Courtroom number 4.
Defense, prosecution, and judge. There are even people in the gallery. The roof has been completely blown off and the walls have collapsed. But today, this ruin is my battleground.
Amen to that, brother. Court is now in session. All rise.
Okay.
Court, or some passivity thereof, is now in session for the trial of Athena Cykes.
Hold it! Not a facility, old man. This is a proper official trial. Take this more seriously, or you'll start hearing the bones of the hostages snap.
We got another one!
We did!
Congrats.
Maddie with a $25 donation.
Yeah!
Ooh.
Thanks so much, Maddie. You're the best.
Blade King says hi, by the way.
Okay, where's that? Oh,
Right there in the window.
okay. So I wonder if he's on YouTube. Yes. Hi.
Whoever Blade King is, welcome to the chat, my man.
So, all right.
Continue.
Please try not to upset Miss Blackwell. I'm begging you.
Court is now in session for the very serious and very proper trial of Athena Cykes.
This is no trial. It's nothing more than a ridiculous farce.
What did you just say?
Edgeworth, did you not hear what I just said to His Honor?
However, this ridiculous farce has a very important meaning for our legal system. Recall the case of the UR1 incident, in which a prosecutor was found guilty of murder. That case ushered in the odious dark age of the law.
I see what you're after. If we can find the real truth behind that case today...
Precisely. The darkness will be dispelled, and glory shall be restored to the court system.
I guess.
Prosecutor Edgeworth, you sound as if you know something of this truth.
I do indeed. A new suspect has emerged in the UR1 case. For 7 years, Simon Blackquill has refused to speak in order to cover for someone else.
Brace yourself, Phoenix. Here it comes.
I'm sorry, Wright, but the situation is what it is, and I must do what I must. The prosecution moves to indict Athena Cykes on the count of murder in the first degree.
Man, it just feels wrong just hearing it.
All right, cutscene time. Quiet on the set.
Well, you can commentate in the background.
But they're speaking.
Regardless the circumstance, I intend to question the defendant with all I have. For that is a part of my creed.
Then you'd better bring it.
If the two of you are ready.
Oh, we're ready.
Court is now in session for the trial of Athena Cykes.
Your Honor, the defense was born ready.
The prosecution is also ready.
Wright, Edgeworth, one-on-one.
It's go time. That's right. This immense tension between us. It's like we're picking up right where we left off.
It's my duty to clear Prosecutor Blackquill of false accusations and end this insanity.
But I have no intention of losing Ms. Cykes either. She's a very promising young lawyer. I know without a doubt that Athena is innocent. But I don't think Prosecutor Blackquill did it either. So, do you have any clue who was responsible for the sabotage? This is you, Chuck.
At the very least, I know it wasn't Simon Blackquill. I don't know enough to identify the true culprit, but it's clear what that person is. To put it simply, a spy.
Ooh, remember that bombshell from the last episode?
Yeah. We're at $100, by the way.
120. We born ready. Let's duel. Absolutely, Blade King. The true culprit is a spy. It's going to be hard to convince anyone of that, and I barely believe in it myself. But I don't have a choice if I want to save Athena and Blackquill and expose the spy.
Oh then, Chief Prosecutor Edgeworth.
No need for the chief prosecutor bit, Your Honor.
And no spoilers if you haven't played the game before.
I am here as a simple prosecutor.
Very well. Your opening statement, please, Prosecutor Edgeworth. Although, I've been known of late to give an impressive opening statement myself.
In all the trials I have ever seen, only the prosecution gives an opening statement.
Oh, of course. You're right. I was just joking. Just having a little fun.
So he wasn't doing them just out of fear. Interesting.
Let's start with a brief overview of the UR1 incident. The incident occurred at the Cosmos Space Center 7 years ago on October 7th. The victim, psychologist Metis Cykes, was killed in a robotics lab on the 4th floor.
Athena's mother.
Simon Blackquill, a young prosecutor at the time, was found guilty of the crime. There were two deciding factors that led to his guilty verdict. One, Blackquill was the only person in the corridor to the lab at the time of the murder.
Can we look at that videotape real quick?
Yeah.
Nope, I can't. Never mind.
And two, this photo, which captured the moment of the crime.
Yikes.
Very incriminating evidence indeed. It would appear that the only conclusion is that Prosecutor Blackquill did indeed.
Hold it! Are you kidding me? I'm not accepting any conclusion of the kind. This opening statement is over. Now hurry up and call the witness.
Excuse me, Miss Blackquill, but we must follow proper procedure for these things, you know.
Or perhaps we should heed her wishes, Your Honor. She is the trial sponsor, after all. Besides, the courtroom is chilly, and sitting for too long can't be good for your back.
Oh, You're very kind to show such concern for the welfare of the elderly.
Up to his old tricks again.
Yep.
As skilled as ever at playing the court puppeteer, I see.
The prosecution calls its first witness. A witness who decided to bring forth new testimony after 7 long years.
New testimony? Just who is this witness anyway?
Well,
We'll find out. Strap in.
Mm-hmm.
Hi there.
Uh-oh.
Bobby Fulbright's the name. In justice we trust. What are you doing here? I'm just here to speak for the hostage taker, Ms. Aura Blackquill. She says she's too busy, what with confining and threatening the hostages and all. That doesn't seem to stop her from constantly chiming in through Clonko.
I'm nothing more than an observer in this. Do your best. I'm watching you.
Believing her brother innocent, Miss Blackwell has been conducting her own investigation. And though her current actions are hardly lawful, I think we can at least hear her theory. That's better.
I have here Ms. Blackwell's notes on the investigation she conducted, and I'll be giving testimony based on these notes. Here I go. What's
right.
going on here?
All right, witness testimony time. Aura Blackwell's theory.
Simon isn't the murderer. He was trying to cover for someone. Someone else was at the scene at the time they say Simon committed the murder. I mean, if he really was out to steal that moon rock, then why the rolling case? Okay. Because he was using it to hide someone inside. That's why. Now, okay, so can we just take a quick look at something? Okay, look at this photograph, and then take a look at the 3 cases on the right. See, that really tall one could hide somebody. Can hide somebody if you really want to, right?
Right.
I mean, looks like it anyway. So keep that in mind. And the only person small enough to fit inside that case was Athena Cykes.
I'd like more information on that.
Yeah, can we get more information? And that's Ms. Blackwell's theory. Totally goes in the face of the official ruling, huh? About the case she mentions, there are other rolling cases like that one in the lab. But they're not for traveling. They're apparently for moving parts and equipment. I vaguely remember seeing 3 cases, all different sizes. More Floridian logic, damn it. Our boy Zion Boyman has entered the chat.
Zion Boy Man, how's it going, man? He's been a loyal fan since case 1.
Since case number 1 of this game. At the last trial, they thought that Prosecutor Blackquill used the case to steal the rock.
Going good, thanks.
And they had a perfectly good reason to think that too. You see, there's a security camera in the corridor that leads to the robotics lab. And that camera captured footage of Blackquill leaving the scene with the case. Huh. Interesting. I can see why that footage helped to bring his trial to a quick end. It's very convincing, that's for sure. 7-year-old video updated in the court record.
Video showing the corridor to the crime scene. Blackwell was the only one to pass through at the time of the crime.
With a case, no less. And apparently he's trying to hide a small child in there.
Or is he? I don't know.
Well, what is he, though? I mean, and apparently, he's trying to steal a moon rock. Because, again...
Did Fulbright have a different collar shirt the last time I was here?
Nope. No. White overcoat and red shirt. Mm-hmm. Nothing changed. No. That case, by the way, was later discovered outside on the Space Center grounds. Speaking of after the incident, where was the defendant, Athena Cykes, found?
She was found on the 5th floor of the Space Center in the Cykes family residence. Prosecutor Blackquill most likely brought her there after the incident. In addition, it's unknown where Miss Sykes was at this estimated time of death.
Yeah, so how can we finger her for the crime? Ms. Sykes was too confused by the shock of her mother's death to give proper testimony.
Edgelord!
Yes, indeed. Lord Edgeworth is back in red, I guess.
Yes, sir.
And there was no witness or evidence to tell us where she might have been. So what you're saying is Ms. Sykes didn't have an alibi?
That is what the evidence is saying, yes.
I understand the reasoning behind the theory, but I'm far from convinced. The victim is the accused mother. Are you actually claiming an 11-year-old girl?
Of course, the girl had a very strong motive.
Yeah, I'd like to hear more information on that, Edgeworth. Dr. Sykes was a psychologist who wrote many papers about speech and emotion.
Hold that thought for a second. Hey, Zion, you want more of Edgeworth? He has his own collection, you know.
Yes.
Ace Attorney Investigations Collection, September 6th. That is our next project. Don't forget.
Absolutely.
Continue.
You're aware of Athena Sykes' special ability, aren't you, Your Honor?
Are you referring to that therapy thing? Yes, she's done quite a few times in court.
The ability to read motions from speech and the subject of her mother's research.
Well, as long as it benefits society, I don't see any particular problem researching it.
I don't like where this is heading. Not one bit.
Dr. Sykes was so intent on her research, she forced her daughter to undergo experiments.
Bullshit.
Prosecutor Edgeworth, are you seriously suggesting?
I've done my best to be delicate, but even you can't deny it to be true, Mr. Wright. No longer able to withstand the anguish of the experiments, Miss Sykes felt her only choice was to kill her own mother.
Ah! Whoa.
Order! Order in the court! What a tragic story. I hardly want to believe it myself. But we must proceed. Mr. Wright, if you could, Detective Fulbright, please refer to the notes.
You're the man. Cross-examination time.
Time to grill this guy like a hamburger.
6 viewers on Twitch, by the way. That's impressive.
Yeah, awesome.
All right, so statement number one. Remember the testimony we just heard. Simon
isn't the murderer. He was trying to cover for someone. Let's keep going. Someone else was at the scene at the time they say Simon committed the murder.
Continue.
Who else? Hold it. But that's just speculation.
Objection. No, Miss Blackquill has proper grounds for her claims.
Objection. Then why didn't you say so in the first place?
Objection. You're the one who screamed, "Hold it," and cut me off.
Fine, so maybe I jumped the gun by a teeny weeny bit. Now I know what they mean when they say close enough to argue. Moving on.
Yeah, that was pointless.
I had to do it though. I mean, if he really was out to steal that moon rock, then why the rolling case? Can we hear more about that moon rock, sir? Hold it! This rolling case, I suppose you mean the one that existed in the photo with Prosecutor Blackquill in it. Yeah, it's missing, but was absent when the crime scene photos were taken.
Yes, that's the one. And Miss Blackquill has drawn a conclusion from these two photos.
She has? And what is that conclusion? You just read it in the notes, you goofball.
You're the one with her notes.
Oh, right, of course. Reading them now. So, why the rolling case? He's such a doofus. Because he was using it to hide someone inside. That's why.
Well, okay. Keep going.
All right. I am the only person small enough to fit inside that case was Athena Sykes.
Nah, I don't think so.
Hold it. But that's nothing more than conjecture, and it's hardly the only possibility. In that case, what do you think Prosecutor Blackquill had in that case? I think it was the moon rock.
Objection!
There were 3 cases at the scene, but Prosecutor Blackquill used the largest one. The moon rock was egg-shaped and only about 8 inches in diameter. It wouldn't have made any sense to use the largest case there just to move that rock.
Unless it was super heavy. Objection! Be that as it may, it doesn't prove Ms. Sykes was inside.
Then let me ask you this. Can you come up with a better theory of what was in the case?
Well, Mr. Wright, can you?
Yikes. Give a guy some time to think. Let's see. Should I try to bluff my way through what could have been in that case?
Do it!
I mean, I'm not gonna. I mean, I'm leaning on don't bluff, but what does story mode tell us? As always, I know exactly what Prosecutor Blackquill carried from the scene. Just have to find something else that was missing, right? No sweat.
Oh, I'd be very interested in hearing your theory. If it's true, that is.
This is a crime scene photo taken after Prosecutor Blackquill left, correct? All we have to do is compare this with this photo of Prosecutor Blackquill to see what's missing. If he took something with him, then it should be in one of these photos, and I think it's that robotic arm. I'm thinking it is. Lady Luck, don't fail me now.
All right then, Mr. Wright. Let us hear your theory. What
That's you.
did Prosecutor Blackquill take from the scene of the murder?
The robot arm.
Yep, I was right.
Take that!
Take that! Please notice that there is a robot part on top of the cart in this photo. However, in this photo taken after the crime, the robot part is gone. In other words, this part is something that was taken from the scene of the crime.
You do appear to be right. I don't see it in the second picture.
Well, it's just a piece of junk. How important could it be? Is it really just an insignificant robot part? Speaking of which...
What are you looking at? I'm gonna start charging for each glass per eyeball.
Stingy, stingy. What happened to the age of free previews? Your Honor, about this robot part. Doesn't it look like it could be an arm from that robot there?
Well, now that you mention it, it does, doesn't it?
And we have proof of where it came from.
But the case is still too big to be practical for just the moon rock and a robot arm.
But really, was it really just the one arm that was in there? If it wasn't Athena in the case, then maybe. I believe there was another robot at the scene that looks just like the one here. Your Honor, it is the defense's assertion that it was this other robot that was in the case.
What?
What?
Objection!
We can't be certain that a part belonged to a robot.
Oh, yes, we can.
Yes, it looks like the arm of the one before us, but it could be something else entirely. Besides, it's wrapped entirely in bandaging, making it difficult to verify what it is.
Objection!
Objection! I know for a fact that it's a robot arm. I can even tell which robot it belonged to, just by looking at it. With this information, we can investigate whether it was there at the time or not.
But, Mr. Wright, I thought you were more of the technologically illiterate type.
What do you mean by that, Baldy? Because the moon rock was inside that case. Well, maybe. I don't know how long Blade King posted that, but how long ago Blade King posted that, but...
When did you become such an expert? I feel somehow abandoned.
Not to worry, Your Honor. I still know next to nothing about machines. But I know this piece of evidence proves which robot the arm belonged to. Da-da-da-da-da-da! Charge! Take that! The robot in this picture is named Ponko. But take a look at Ponko's arm. It was Ms. Sykes who bandaged it up like that.
You must have thought that machines heal in the same way that people do. What an adorable and naive mistake. It reminds me of my own grandchild.
The robot arm at the crime scene had the same bandaging wrapped around it. In other words, this robot arm could belong to none other than Ponko.
Oh, really?
Order in the court. Order, I say. Prosecutor Edgeworth, what do you have to say about this?
I can see that the robot is about the same size as a child, but it cannot grab its knees and curl itself up into a ball. Even if it was the largest of the cases, the robot couldn't have possibly fit in there. Shoot, Chuck.
The case does come up to about mid-thigh, and Prosecutor Blackquill. I see your point. The robot is much taller than that.
They got me there. So, did Prosecutor Blackquill make Ponko fit into the case by dismantling her? Must have been dismantling her. Of course Ponko would fit. All Prosecutor Blackquill had to do was dismantle her. Once taken apart, the robot could have easily fit inside that rolling case.
It appears to be a robot assembly device.
Disassemble anything in a flash. Push the dismantle button. That sounds pretty neat. Can I push it, Mr. Nick?
It sounds rather violent, but Mr. Wright does have a point there.
Objection!
Objection! Except that there was a body on the table where robots are dismantled and assembled. There would have been no room to take the robot apart.
Objection!
Objection! But what if it wasn't done on the table? What if the katana was used instead?
You mean the sword?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Blackquill, I'd like your opinion as a woman of science. Isn't it true that the katana could have been used to take the robot apart?
I suppose so. The joints aren't made of a very tough material. I really could slice through them.
Thank you for your expert opinion, Ms. Blackquill. Thanks to you, we now know that the existence of the severed arm in this photo proves that Ponko was taken apart. In addition, since the rest of Ponko was not found at the scene, we can conclude that the true meaning of this photo is very different from the original interpretation.
Black will do it.
We're trying to prove that he didn't, man.
You can't mean.
The one I hate.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. This photo does not capture the moment of the murder. It is instead a picture of the moment after the robot was sliced apart. The blood you see where the arm was cut off was transferred there by the bloody katana.
I can slightly tolerate aura, not me.
Most likely, the rest of Ponko is scattered around Prosecutor Blackquill's feet.
Not hearing this.
Therefore, what was transported inside that case was not the defendant, but a robot.
Go.
Ms. Sykes never was at the scene at the time of the murder.
My head! My head! My body! Where am I?
Order! Order in the court!
And all accusations are therefore null. I don't know about that. It's not that easy.
It's true that Ponko was found in pieces after the murder, and I'll admit I repaired her myself afterwards.
Photo of the crime updated in the court record.
Photo shows Blackwell taking the robot apart. There's a blood stain on the end of the robot's arm.
Yes, I'm finally making some progress. Hopefully I've gotten at least one step closer to proving both Athena and Prosecutor Blackquill is innocent.
Objection!
Objection!
Uh-oh.
Well played, Mr. Wright. You've made your point abundantly clear. I can see that it wasn't the defendant inside the rolling case, but the robot.
All right.
What's going on here, officer?
All right. What's going on here? It's never good when he plays things this straight.
Does the prosecution withdraw its claim that the defendant was carried from the scene?
No, Your Honor. My claim hasn't changed.
Objection!
Objection! But Ponko and Ms. Sykes couldn't have both been inside that case.
Objection! The notion that the case was used to carry Miss Sykes was Ms. Blackwill's theory. I have been of a different opinion from the outset. Now I finally have the opportunity to voice my theory. Thanks to the defense.
Uh-oh. He fell right into his trap. Edgeworth, he's been one step ahead of me this whole time.
In that case, how do you propose the defendant left the crime scene?
Simple. The footage only shows Prosecutor Blacquill from behind. What's more, he's holding his arm in front of his body, as if he were holding something. As if he were holding something. Or someone.
Oh, can we get a look at this? Okay. I don't see any shadows.
Okay.
I don't.
Yeah, go back and say, okay, I can tolerate Edge Lord, says something like that.
Edgelord a little less now.
I can tolerate Edgelord a little less now. Okay.
We're searching for the truth together, brother. That's hardly evidence.
I have proof. The surcoat Prosecutor Blacquill was wearing.
Yikes, got blood stains on it.
The victim's blood was found on the front of it. The victim's blood was found on the front of it, and the stain had a highly distinctive shape.
Oh, man. Uh-oh.
A blood stain with a distinctive shape? Please continue, Prosecutor Edgeworth.
7 years ago, the defendant was known to constantly wear a certain item, of which there is only one in the world, a special pair of headphones made just for her.
Okay, see you later, Zion boy, man. Thanks for stopping by, even only for 5 minutes.
Your support means everything.
She always wore those big, heavy-looking headphones. She said her mother made them for her as part of her research.
Analysis showed the bloodstain to be in the exact same shape as these headphones. In other words, this was no mere blood splatter. The blood went from the victim's body to the headphones, and then was imprinted onto Prosecutor Blackwill's coat like a stamp.
Oh, no.
A most gruesome stamp indeed.
Blacquill carried Miss Sykes, who had been hit by splatter, away from the crime scene. This proves that Athena Sykes was without question present at the crime scene.
Doesn't mean she did it. Hang on.
And that concludes the prosecution's argument.
Nah!
Order. If the defendant was indeed at the scene, it deepens the suspicion against her.
Objection!
Objection! But we've also shown that the robot was there at the scene as well.
Objection! I hope you're not making the ridiculous claim that a simple robot was the real murderer.
I don't really think that, no, but... You can't say the possibility isn't there. Detective Fulbright, was the robot questioned at the time? No, I don't see any record of it. I believe it was considered unrelated to the case. But as it turned out, the robot was actually integrally related. Your Honor, the defense would like to call Ponko to the stand.
Robot witness?
Oh my gosh. First parrots, now killer whales, and now robots?
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Well, he's up to his own tricks again.
Order in the court. Prosecutor Edgeworth, what do you have to think about this?
Mr. Wright has called all manner of witnesses to the stand over the years, so why not a robot? Nothing surprises me anymore with him.
Very well. I will allow the witness. Bailiff! Please summon the robot named Ponko.
Oh boy.
Witness, please state your name and occupation.
My name is not Witness. My name is Ponko.
Yes, I realize that, but when you are at the witness stand, you are the witness.
No, I'm not. I'm Ponko. Say it with me. Ponko.
Ugh, what an utterly inflexible little robot.
You're the last person who should be calling anybody inflexible.
You remind me of my grandchild who just learned his own name. Oh, how precious.
All right, Ponko. I'm going to ask you some questions.
Questions? You have questions? Hooray! What are your questions?
I want to know if you were there at the scene of the murder of Metis Sykes. It was 7 years ago on the 7th of October around 2 p.m. in the robotics lab.
Certainly. Just one moment. Searching data. Search complete. Yes, I was there in the robotics lab.
It would seem this robot's testimony is necessary to this case after all.
This is great. I just knew Ponko must have seen something important. Oh boy, this might end up biting you in the ass, Phoenix.
Who knows?
A murder committed right before this poor little girl's eyes. It's inexcusable.
The judge seems ready to adopt Ponko as another grandchild.
So, little Ponko, what do you think you could give us, or do you think you could give us your testimony today?
Okay,
let's find out.
With this testimony, what I saw.
I went to the robotics lab at about 2 p.m. for my regular recharge. Just as I was about to charge up, Athena came in and hugged Mommy Metis. And then Mommy Metis fell down. After that, I was recharging, so I don't know anything. After I charged up, I was cleaning the room, and Mr. Simon came in. And then an error occurred. There is no data after that point.
Little Ponko.
So she fell down after she was hugged.
Well, it sounds like the defendant was, without question, at the scene. However, it doesn't appear that the witness saw the actual moment of the murder.
I disagree. This testimony shows that the defendant did indeed commit the crime.
Uh-oh. What?
At the end of the day, we mustn't forget that this witness is still a machine. Being a robot, its understanding and capacity to express itself are limited.
So what are you suggesting?
The witness's statements need to be interpreted. For example, the terms hugged and then later fell down.
Oh.
Adults don't usually fall down after being hugged by a child.
Unless she tackled her, for crying out loud.
They don't, but...
Yes, what this witness's statements are telling us is that the defendant stabbed the victim with the murder weapon during this moment.
What?
Before Miss Sykes hugged Dr. Sykes, did the two of them converse?
Yes, they did. They spoke to each other very loudly, but I don't know what they said. Athena is usually so quiet, so I was surprised.
Spoke very loudly. We can interpret this to mean they argued.
Oh boy.
I see. Murder after a heated argument, and then the victim fell down.
Well, she could have just pushed her, for crying out loud. She didn't want to keep... She was probably arguing about the headphones because she hated wearing them. You know?
I agree that it sounds like a reasonable interpretation. However, Paco doesn't seem to remember anything that happened after that.
When I am recharging, I go into sleep mode. But I remember everything before that. I have a very good memory.
You may as well admit defeat now, Wright. A cross-examination would be useless.
Don't be ridiculous. A cross-examination is never useless.
Until now. Think about it. Robots don't lie. This robot is both an important witness and valuable evidence at the same time.
Doesn't mean that robot's lying. Nevertheless, I will have my cross-examination.
I see you haven't changed. You never were one to worry about wasting time.
Very well. Even if it may be a waste of time, you may proceed, Mr. Wright.
I'll show you both just how fruitful any cross-examination can be.
I'd say, what does story mode tell us?
Exactly, because I don't know. I have no idea what to pick apart here.
What I saw.
I went to the robotics lab at about 2 p.m. for my regular recharge. Just as I was about to charge up, Athena came in and hugged Mommy Metis. And then Mommy Metis fell down. After that, I was recharging, so I don't know anything. Hold it! I don't want to delve too deeply here, but... Could you tell us how the victim appeared and acted at this moment? Mommy Metis was very surprised when she was hugged. I heard her heart pound. Her heart?
Mr. Wright, have you forgotten about this document we found in the robotics lab? These robots have a heartbeat detection system.
Now that he mentions it, I do remember reading something like that there. They detect the presence of people by the sounds of their heartbeats. But wait a minute. That means... Means what? Analyzing their tone of voice and communicate with them. If Dr. Sykes really did die at this moment... Ponko, how was Dr. Sykes after she fell down? Could you still hear the sound of her heartbeat? Let's see. The moment she fell, her heart was pounding. After that, I don't know. I started recharging just then. Of all the unlucky timing, if you had heard anything after that, it could have possibly proved that the hug wasn't actually the moment of the murder. I'm very sorry. I'm afraid I don't know. I'm very sorry.
The robot is designed to go into sleep mode automatically, so it can't be helped.
Okay, well, it's still very inconclusive.
But it does appear it detected an increased heart rate at the moment of the stabbing. After Mommy Menace's heart started pounding in surprise, she fell by the window. It was the round window on the workbench side of the room. Let me take a look at something. It wasn't round. No.
It was square.
Yeah. Not to mention the fact that she was on the operating table.
Yeah. And if we could see, there's a square window here and a round window there. I didn't see any blood stains there.
No.
The workbench, huh? Ponko must be talking about that table to the right of where that giant robot is now. Okay, that looks like it. Well, still. But, okay. Is there something critical in Ponko's statement just now?
Got the dog.
There is something. There's always something. Your Honor, I believe this statement is critical. I'd like it added to her testimony.
Gamer Biker got the doggo asking to go outside. I can take it from there.
No, I got this. I'll do this. I was just going to say, very well.
Oh,
Oh, there you are.
Yeah. Paco, could you please add that statement to your testimony? That's a good little girl.
Good catch. Good catch,
Jesus
Chuck.
Christ.
Mommy Menace fell down near the round window on the workbench side of the room.
All right, well, can we just take a look at this? 3, 2, 1.
Objection!
Objection!
We're back.
Ponko, your statement may have just inspired a breakthrough.
I was helpful? Hooray! I'm so happy!
Just to be sure, let's go over it again, okay? The victim fell near the window on the workbench side of the room. However, her body was discovered on the operating table.
But the operating table and the workbench are two different locations. Kudos to the person doing the judge's voice tonight. Very fitting.
Yes, it's our friend Chuck. He's a streamer too. Exactly, Your Honor. We've just learned a new crucial fact. What could explain the two very different locations of the body? I'll tell you what. The victim was moved. An 11-year-old girl couldn't have moved the heavy body of an adult, so the only explanation is that the victim walked to the operating table herself. In other words, what Ponko observed near the workbench couldn't possibly have been the moment of the murder.
I'm very relieved to hear that. Glad to know that the murder wasn't committed in front of little Ponko here.
Yes, as we just heard in the testimony, Ms. Sykes hugged her mother, nothing more.
Objection!
Objection! Right. It's been 8 years, but you're still just as green as ever. Green? Well, I can't recall ever seeing Mr. Wright in anything but a blue suit.
Oh, come on, man. Hey, blue's my favorite color. What can I say?
If the defendant couldn't move the body herself, she could have had it moved for her.
Moved for her, but Ms. Sykes and Dr. Sykes were the only ones there.
I agree. Since this robot is equipped with a heartbeat detection system, it would have been aware of another person's presence if someone else had been there. We can therefore conclude that the defendant and the victim were the only ones present. Then who do you suggest move the body? Don't you know it's in the nature of a robot to help people do things? Ms. Panko, allow me to ask you a question.
My name is Ponko. Say it with me, Ponko.
I believe you said you were cleaning after Dr. Sykes fell down. Did you happen to move something large onto the operating table?
Oh, no. No.
Oh, God.
Don't tell me this is how Athena Sykes' mom died.
Wait a minute.
Oh, no.
Wait a minute now. Gotta prove it.
Yes, I did. Athena asked me to.
Athena asked you to?
And what did you move, little Ponko?
I don't know. Unless something has an ID tag, I can't tell what it is.
An ID tag, you say?
Yes, a tag with a barcode on it. We robots scan them to tell us what a thing is.
That paper in the lab did mention something about that. Recognizes people by scanning their spacesuit or uniform jacket ID tag, it said. Now remember, we saw the space jacket. on the floor.
Uh-oh. So it would appear that Miss Panko here can't identify when it moved.
My
name is Ponko.
But we humans have the power to imagine what it was, do we not? We do? Well, I do at the very least. Miss Panko, on the defendant's command, move the body onto the operating table.
What? Ponko, did you really move Dr. Sykes' body? This is really important. Is there any way you could tell?
I don't know. Without an ID tag, I can't tell.
Give it up, Wright. If the victim's heart was stopped, the robot's detection system would be useless. Furthermore, Dr. Sykes usually wore her white coat while she was working. She kept the jacket with her ID tag on it draped over a chair in the robotics lab, and only wore it for special occasions. In other words, the victim wasn't wearing her ID tag at the time. From the robot's point of view, her body was simply just another object.
Objection! But Ponko was equipped with a facial recognition system. If she really did move the victim, she would have recognized the body as Dr. Sykes. But she didn't, so that means...
Objection! A face can easily be covered with a piece of cloth, a mask, or anything else for that matter.
Remember? Hold on. Let's see. Remember this?
Wait a minute.
Now there's a mask on the side there, right?
Right, but wait a minute. We gotta prove that.
Yeah. So. Okay.
So where are you going with this? With her facial features hidden, the robot wouldn't be able to tell it was Dr. Sykes.
He's right.
To summarize, Miss Sykes stabbed her mother near the workbench. Then, using the robot, she moved the body to the table, where she removed the sword and was stained in blood.
Whoa.
Order! But if that's the case, then I have a question. Why did the defendant move the body to the operating table in the first place? You want a reason? Very well.
What? You can't possibly have an explanation.
Your emotions blind you to the truth. You can learn a lot from our robot friends. Calm and rational thought will open your eyes to the truth in front of you, Mr. Wright. Now then, do you remember the operating table's one special feature? I believe I read that robots can be assembled and disassembled there, isn't that right? That's right. And to the defendant, who was just a child at the time, the table was like a magic box that could make robots appear or disappear in seconds.
But in the end, my mom just put her on the operating table and fixed her in a flash. I was so impressed by what my mom did. I even asked her if she would put me on the table and fix me if I ever got hurt. It looked just like magic to me, what she could do.
Oh no. You can't possibly be suggesting...
This young sheltered girl had a difficult time distinguishing robots from people.
But take a look at Ponko's arm. It was Ms. Sykes who bandaged it up like that.
She must have thought that machines heal in the same way that people do. What an adorable naive mistake. It reminds me of my own grandchild.
Oh, I'm sorry. No way! I refuse to believe it!
Miss Sykes made a childish, naive, and cruel mistake. She thought that if a robot could be dismantled and vanish without a trace... But Prosecutor Edgeworth, if you're about to claim what I think you are, I demand that you word it as delicately as you can. With all due respect, Your Honor, all I can do is present the truth as it stands. The reason the defendant moved the victim's body to the operating table...
Hold it! Hold it! No! Don't say another word! Just stop!
...was to dismantle the evidence so that she could get away with her crime!
That can't be! That can't be true!
Order! Order in the court! Order in the court, I say!
Edgeworth, she was just a little kid. How can you say such a horrible thing?
Horrible? Like I said, you're just as green as ever. Welcome back, Chuck.
You just missed tea time.
I came here today as a prosecutor to seek only the truth. No more, no less. My theory is simply the result of a rational consideration of every possibility.
No worries, brother.
Objection!
Objection! But dismantling isn't the table's only function. It can make repairs as well. It's conceivable that Ms. Sykes moved her mother to the table in order to fix her.
I suppose that... Mind if I take... Yeah, go ahead and take judge again.
Yes, please.
Please. I suppose that could be another way of interpreting it. But dismantle or repair, it doesn't matter either way.
What do you mean?
After murdering her mother, Miss Sykes may have come to her senses. Perhaps she did want to make it appear as if it had never happened. And that's why she tried to repair her mother. Yes, that's one possible explanation.
But...
But we mustn't forget the facts of this case. The victim was observed to fall down after being hugged by the defendant. And the body was moved per the defendant's command. These two facts that indicate the defendant's guilt, remain unchanged.
This just can't be true.
Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence to refute the prosecution's claim?
Evidence? Right. Let's see. I can't think of any. I'm afraid I don't have any evidence.
Since becoming chief prosecutor, I've learned that the truth isn't always pretty. Now, accept the truth, Mr. Wright. Your subordinate murdered her own mother. Your Honor, the prosecution demands a verdict. The hostages have suffered enough.
What a terrible and tragic conclusion. If the defense has no counter-argument, I see no further prolong this trial.
No need to further prolong this trial.
Yeah.
Edgeworth's argument seems solid enough. But there's no way Athena could have ever done anything like that. What do I do? There has to be something. I can't think of a single thing.
Objection! Who's saying this?
I think...
Objection!
Prosecutor Blackquill.
This is quite the farce you are conducting here. I could die from laughter.
Prosecutor Blackquill, what are you talking about?
What I'm talking about is that your argument is based on an entirely false premise. Go on, we're listening.
Could this be the miracle I need? What is Prosecutor Blackquill trying to pull here?
7 years. For 7 long years, this case has been on my mind. Not for an instant did I not think of it. I'm the one who killed my mentor, and don't think you can alter that fact now. Your boldness I will take to the stand, and I won't take no for an answer.
Of course, Prosecutor Blackquill. Please, go ahead.
Oh boy.
Time for a little witness testimony. 7 years
ago.
I went to the Cosmos Space Center with the intention of killing Dr. Sykes. But when I got to the robotics lab, I found Athena there instead. I would not be swayed from my purpose, so I waited for Dr. Sykes to return. And then I committed the act. Ah, how cathartic it was. It wasn't cathartic.
A little Ponko here witnessed the victim falling. In other words...
Objection!
Objection! I don't need any of your other words, old man. I can guess what happened.
Which would be?
She fell means she fell. Merely that. A mother and child fooling around. Perhaps she tripped. Not that it matters. When I entered the lab, there was no trace of Dr. Sykes to be seen. There was no dead body either, of course, meaning she must have left the room.
Though the murder occurred after the time period Ponko described in her testimony.
You should hardly take stock in the words of a wind-up toy.
Objection!
Objection! Then how do you explain the fact that the defendant had the robot move something?
Athena was always tinkering with robots on the operating table to amuse herself, and she always had Ponko move the heavy ones for her. That day was no different. Ponko moved a heavy robot for Athena.
What?
That doesn't make sense.
This is awful. What he's saying seems to make sense, and yet...
Objection!
Objection! Prosecutor Blackwell, are you trying even now to turn away from the truth? Don't you realize we could bring the dark age of the law to a close today?
Objection!
Objection! You expect too much from me. I'm just a murderer beyond redemption. Why don't you just let me go so I can settle down into hell? Prosecutor Blackwell's execution is tomorrow. The truth doesn't come out now, it's all over.
Are you saying that the little girl and the robot had nothing to do with the murder?
That's right. So let's hear your verdict. If we don't hurry, I might miss the ferry across the Styx.
Hold
it!
Hold it! Don't you dare, Judge! Don't forget I have hostages over here! And Simon, how long are you going to cover for her?
Miss Blackquill! Forgive me, Aura. I never wanted you to do anything like this for me. But you agreed to this trial. If you have a counter-argument, then present your evidence. That's the rule of the courtroom. Isn't that right, Chief Prosecutor?
Blackwell, you selfish.
Well, to be frank, I don't like this, but it's my duty to make a decision. If no one has a counter-argument, I will announce my verdict.
Is this really happening? Is it really gonna end just like it did 7 years ago?
I wanted to do it so bad. Even now, I want to fly out of here and go save him.
No, I can't tell her. How can I lie to Athena? If I can't prove Prosecutor Blackwell's innocence in this trial, I don't think Athena will ever forgive me. I can't let this happen. I just don't have the evidence to counter Prosecutor Blackwell's testimony.
Hold up, wait a minute. Here we go.
Hold it!
Here we go.
What is she?
Athena! What are you feeling okay?
I can hear it. I can hear the voice of his heart. He's hiding something.
If he really is, I could sure use Athena's help here. Her power might just be the thing to get us through this.
Objection!
Objection! Sykes, Dono. No need for you to chime in here. Just accept that you're innocent.
Objection!
Objection! These past 7 years, they've been just as hard on me, you know.
What are you talking about?
Do you remember that horrible, horrible trial?
Oh boy, I think we're doing another cutscene here. Get your tissues ready.
Please, you have to listen to me. He didn't kill her. His heart is screaming that he didn't kill her. Even now, every time I stand in a courtroom, it comes back to haunt me. Not being heard, no matter how hard you try, feeling so helpless. Caught in people's stares, so scared that it feels like your chest is in a vise. I'm terrified of courtrooms. I want to run out of that door even now.
Holy smokes, this is serious, folks.
And yet, you found a way to keep your fears at bay and became a lawyer.
The violin's what's doing it.
Thanks. That's because one day, I came to realize that I had to fight. I couldn't give up. I exercised hard and I studied hard. I wanted to become the strongest lawyer I could be. This day has finally come. The day I've been looking forward to with all my heart. This is why I became a lawyer. This is why I studied psychology. It was all to save you from this false conviction.
But, Miss Sykes, do you realize what it would mean? You are the accused, after all. If you prove Prosecutor Blackquill is innocent, then...
Violin's what's doing it to me, by the way.
The only thing that matters is the truth. It's my duty to find out what that truth is. Simon, please give me this chance. The chance to shake off this fear that's been with me for 7 years and to face the truth.
Athena's being so brave confronting her past like this. This might really be the last chance to save them both.
I've got chills, man.
Prosecutor Blackquill, please testify one more time about the incident 7 years ago.
Fine. But your efforts will surely be in vain. For I am not a man who can be cut down easily.
Here we go, Simon. Let me hear the voice of your heart.
Well, this is it, Athena. You've waited 7 long years. Mood Matrix, activate!
Yeah, that's right, baby. We're doing this shit.
Don't screw this up now, girl. I'm counting on you.
We're all counting on you. Okay.
I went to the Cosmos Space Center with the intention of killing Dr. Sykes.
So he has some anger and set.
But when I got to the robotics lab, I found Athena there instead.
Now, why is he happy and on top of being angry?
Got it!
Got it!
Good catch.
This feeling of happiness, even though the person you were looking for wasn't there, you felt happy. Why is that?
Simple. When I was looking for Athena, I hadn't found her yet. I grew worried.
And hadn't found her yet.
When I was looking for Athena and hadn't found her yet, I grew worried. So when I saw her in the robotics lab, I was happily relieved. Merely that.
Ooh, okay.
Just now you said that you went to the Space Center to kill Dr. Sykes. But the first thing you did was look for her daughter instead?
All right, team. Got to call it a night. Excellent job, all. Thanks.
Bye, Maddie.
Bye, Maddie. Thanks for watching after the fact.
I had no intention of harming Athena, so I wanted to confirm that she was safe first.
You can feel free to give feedback.
Yep,
Chuck.
absolutely. Thanks for the compliment on the judge. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yep.
I'll just follow along. I have no... I mean, I'm so far behind. I'm just paying attention.
Hey, that's all good, man.
It was just a part of my plan. Nothing contradictory about that. Gah! The second I find an inconsistency, he cuts it down.
Simon knows the principles of analytical psychology. There's less noise now, but I don't see any instabilities we can latch onto.
I was afraid of that. I'll just have to keep chipping away at him then, bit by bit.
Could you update as a testimony, Athena?
You got it, boss.
Alright, so I went to the Cosmos Space Center with the intention of killing Dr. Sykes. He's angry about that. Update. Let's see. When I found Athena in the robotics lab, I was relieved.
Okay. Relieved.
But I would not be swayed from my purpose, so I waited for Dr. Sykes to return.
So why is he super happy about that?
Because he's waiting for his target.
Alright.
And when she did, I plunged the katana in. But why would she be? Why would he be sad about that?
Got it! Not even you can falsify your emotions, Prosecutor Blackquill. What? When you said that you killed Dr. Sykes in your testimony, you felt sadness. Why would someone who had lain in wait to kill her be sad at her death? Such an obvious attack. Yes, I felt sadness, but it wasn't for her. I felt sorrow for Athena and her circumstances. Gah!
He can't be talking about that, can he?
It was just a convenient subject for her research.
Dr. Sykes was so intent on her research, she forced her daughter to undergo experiments. I tried to go as deep as I possibly could, man.
It's all right. My objective was to save Athena from an obsessive scientist who treated her own daughter like a research subject.
What?
I went to the psychology lab first. That's where I would usually find Athena playing. But that day was different. I heard someone crying in the robotics lab next door. Was Athena being subjected to yet another experiment? I thought as I went to see. Conveniently, Athena had cried herself to sleep, so all I had to do was wait and kill.
So that's why he was relieved when he saw Athena. But is this story really true? I'm not sure how much to believe.
Mr. Wright?
How you doing, Athena? Still hanging in there?
I'm a lot stronger than I look, boss. Now take a look at this. The noise level actually increased.
Oh! It's going up a little bit because he's trying to hide something.
Uh-oh.
It went up?
I've never seen it do that before.
Prosecutor Blackquill is lying somewhere in his testimony. As a matter of fact, he's piling lie on top of lie in an attempt to make his claims sound more believable. He's trying even harder to suppress his true feelings, and that's what's causing the noise.
How in the world should I approach this? An evidence-based approach might work if I can find a contradiction. Otherwise, I should look for an inconsistency in his emotions.
There are no flaws in my testimony, and his baldness is prepared to give his verdict. Give up on this lost cause, and let the law free me of these chains already.
Objection!
Objection! I don't think so. Not while I'm around.
Now, contradictory testimony or inconsistent emotions? Which should I tackle first?
Well, what does story tell us?
His emotions.
His emotions.
Okay, let's look for inconsistent emotions.
Got it, boss. But if you want to try looking for a contradictory statement instead, just let me know. I can easily switch over.
Yeah, I heard crying from next door. Of course I was worried.
Okay, so yeah, surprise.
I hurried over and opened the door to the robotics lab.
Why was he hugely surprised about this one?
Could he have been attacked by someone? Before I could lead Athena out of there, curse my luck, Dr. Sykes came in.
Got it! How odd. Why would you register surprise at opening the door to the lab? Tsk. All right, fine. I'll explain if I must. What surprised me was Ponko. That toy figure attacked me.
Dr. Sykes knew full well of my plan to rescue Athena, but she couldn't stand guard over her daughter 24 hours a day. So Dr. Sykes had Ponko do it? That's right. She ordered Ponko to forcibly remove me on sight. So I slashed Ponko up with the katana that was there in the lab. Huh. That rickety old puppet wasn't worthy of that fine blade.
Mr. Wright, it's happening again. There's even more noise now.
Oh boy.
Oh.
Wow, it's super hard.
It's at 100% now. What's going on here?
Whenever we find an opening, he covers it up with lies. We'll never get rid of the noise at this rate.
Pretty hard to keep telling coherent lies like that. His mind and will really are as sharp as strong as a katana. Alright, what should I tackle first this time?
His testimony. I think there might be an inconsistency in Prosecutor Blackwill's testimony.
Alright, let's give it a thorough check then.
With a feeling of dread, I opened the robotics lab door. Just then, Ponko attacked me. I retaliated it by cutting it in pieces.
But why is there no blood on the katana at that time?
Yeah, so either it's the katana or it's the photograph.
Yeah, the photograph.
Objection!
Compounding lies with more lies is never the answer, Prosecutor Blackquill. Take a look at this photo.
That's the photo of the supposed moment of the murder, isn't it?
How many more times must I see that which damned me for my sin?
The ironic thing is, I think this picture is actually going to be your savior now. See the bloodstain at the end of Ponko's arm where it was severed with the katana?
Hope you are claiming it's the robot's blood, Mr. Wright.
Nope. No. Most likely, the blood was transferred there from the bloody katana.
The katana already had blood on it? So then it must have been the victim's blood.
That's right. But if that's the case, we found a glaring inconsistency. Ugh. You said in your testimony that you cut up Ponko and then you killed Dr. Sykes. But in spite of that, the victim's blood is already on Ponko's arm in this picture.
What? That couldn't be.
Exactly. In order for the blood to have transferred from the sword to Ponko's arm, the victim must have been stabbed first, before the robot was slashed. In other words, Prosecutor Blackquill, your entire testimony is nothing but one giant ball of lies. Gah! Tell the court the truth, Prosecutor Blackquill, now! You have no idea what you're doing.
Ugh! His voice. There's so much discord. I'm hearing not just one or two, but a bunch of rampaging emotions here. It's hard to describe. It's like a violent whirlpool or something.
Phoenix Wright, you will pay for this. Never have I been forced to reveal so much, but the rest I'll take to my grave.
Prosecutor Blackquill, you are on the witness stand. You are obligated to tell the truth. Isn't that the rule of the courtroom?
All these complex emotions, they seem to be flowing from one source. I think whatever he really saw that day is what's causing these feelings.
Uh-oh. Red alert, all emotions. Following the sound of crying, I open the lab door, and then... I saw it, that terrible scene. Well, what could he be talking about?
The root cause of all these emotions is this.
I'm actually not getting any particularly big reading there, Mr. Wright.
Guess that's not it then. What could have caused Blackwell to react with all these emotions all at once?
Try it again. But before I could lead Athena out of there, curse my luck, Dr. Sykes came in.
So, like...
I don't think it's what is storytelling is.
I'm trying to.
Got it!
Yeah, it was Athena. Got it! When you opened the door and saw Athena, you became overwhelmed by your emotions. Isn't that right, prosecutor?
Ugh, you should know better. Though it's pathetic, I admit I'm terrified to speak of it.
Prosecutor Blackquill, Ms. Sykes is innocent. I will always believe that with all my heart. Now, can't you find it within yourself to believe in me, too?
Athena is innocent, huh? Can you honestly say you believe that to be true, right, Dono?
I give you my word. Now tell me what you really saw when you opened that door.
Curse you, Phoenix Wright.
Oh boy. Is this it?
Buckle up, boneheads. If you got kids, tell them to turn away.
Turn away.
This is Simon talking.
It was a tragedy. One I'll never forget.
Uh-oh.
When I arrived at the lab, Dr. Sykes was already dead.
Already dead?
See, so Simon couldn't have possibly killed her.
Right.
She was lying on the operating table, while the bloody katana lay on the floor. And standing between the two,
Oh my god.
covered in blood, was Athena.
What?
Oh, what the heck is going on?
Uh-oh. Oh my god.
She smiled, with a far-off look in her eyes, as she sweetly said,
I can't. What? Wait a minute. What?
What?
Oh god. Oh, get that off the screen, quick.
Jeez.
Something's wrong with Mom, so I'm taking her apart to fix her.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, that's creepy as shit.
"That's what I saw. And now you have it. The truth that you so desperately wanted."
What?
Oh, boy.
What in?
So she had absolutely no idea what was going on.
Oh.
No. Prosecutor Blackquill finally tells the truth. And this is what it is? It's beyond devastating.
Okay, folks, try not to say anything.
Yeah.
I tried to take my mother apart. No. So it was me. I'm the one who killed my mother.
Athena!
As I said, right, the truth isn't always pretty. Murder, disassembly on an operating table, a scientist using her daughter as a guinea pig. Sadly, it appears that my theory was correct after all.
Objection! It's true that Athena didn't like her mother's research, but you dare cast aspersions on my mentor by claiming Athena was used in such a manner? Dr. Sykes could be awkward with people, but she loved her daughter with all her heart.
She loved me.
Your mother hated to see you suffer because you could hear the voices of people's hearts. She wanted to set you free of your pain, so she worked tirelessly on her research. Do you remember those headphones you hated so much?
I'm surprised Athena isn't crying yet, but oh wait, she's a lawyer. It's not till it's over.
Jesus.
Yes. My head hurt every time I wore them.
No, Athena. It's just the opposite. They emitted sound waves to nullify emotional input from the voices of people around you. Your power was much stronger then than it is now. And those headphones were what enabled you to carry on with everyday life.
No, that can't be true. Then why? Why would I have done something like that to somebody who loved me so much?
Her love for you was real. That I can guarantee. That's why I knew that what happened had to be some kind of mistake. I couldn't let you be punished for it.
So you took the blame yourself. You and your mentor are more alike than you know.
Ponko was a witness, so I put it in the case, held Athena close, and vacated the lab. I threw Ponko away in the boarding lounge trash chute, and I hid the case on the Space Center grounds.
It would seem that we now have all the facts of this case.
Hold it! Hold it! No, not yet! It can't end like this!
Objection!
Objection! Do not disgrace yourself, Mr. Wright. The truth has been revealed. Or are you the type of man to turn your back to things that disagree with you?
I'm not... But this... I can't give up now. I have to say something. Anything, even if it's a bluff. I've always managed to pull through that way in the past. I have to make it work. The defense is prepared to present evidence.
Mr. Wright.
Yes, Athena?
It's... Okay. You can stop now. I don't want you or anyone else to suffer any longer for my sake.
Athena, what are you saying?
I killed my mother. That's the truth. It's just like Prosecutor Edgeworth said. We have to face it, no matter how much it hurts. I admit my guilt. But could I please be granted just one chance to tell everyone what I recall?
It appears Miss Sykes is much braver than you, Mr. Wright. What say you, Your Honor? In light of her courage, will the court give Miss Sykes this opportunity to confess?
Very well. And if you would, please take the stand, Miss Sykes.
I got chills.
Holy smokes.
I've got chills. Do you?
I do. Well, now what's gonna happen here?
Thank you for letting me do this, Prosecutor Edgeworth. And thank you, Mr. Wright, and Prosecutor Blackquill, for letting the truth be known. Now we can finally move forward, and everyone's suffering can come to an end.
Athena!
Prosecutor Blackquill will be cleared, and the dark age of the law can come to an end. Yes, admit your guilt, and bring everything to its conclusion.
I killed my mother. My memory is still a little hazy, but there's no question I remember it. I remember the weight of the weapon in my hands, and the feeling of it stabbing in deep. And I remember the warmth of her blood as it flowed down the handle onto my fingers. Your Honor, please find me guilty.
I dare say, these are all memories that no one but the murderer would have.
I see. Thank you for your confession. I believe this trial has gone on long enough. But before we conclude, does anyone have a counter-argument?
Yeah, I know Phoenix does.
Objection!
Objection!
I do, Your Honor.
Mr. Wright?
But Mr. Wright, why? I killed her. I remember it now. Any counter-argument now is pointless.
Objection!
Objection!
Don't tell me you've forgotten one of the basic tenets of lawyering. Always believe in the client to the bitter end. Athena, you are not a murderer.
Objection!
Objection! I said that you never change, but could you have actually regressed in these 8 years? I won't stand for your childish emotionalism getting in the way of the truth.
Emotionalism? Don't lecture me on matters of the heart, Edgeworth. Because I can see straight into a person's soul.
Holy,
Oh boy, it's morphin' time.
holy goddamn, this case is so good. I can't wait to hear all these performances back, man. I'm getting goosebumps.
I did a little research. I looked into these special psych locks you mentioned, Mr. Nick. Athena isn't trying to keep anything from you on purpose. For some reason, part of her heart and her memories are sealed off, even from herself.
There's still a chance. Somewhere deep in Athena's heart, there might still be a memory that not even she knows about yet. Might be like looking for a grain of sand somewhere in the cosmos. But still, that memory might contain a new fact that could prove her innocence.
Chuck?
I hope for everyone's sake that you are not just bluffing, Mr. Wright. Now then, is there or is there not a problem with Miss Sykes' confession?
My memory is still a little hazy, but there's no question I remember it. I remember the weight of the weapon in my hands and the feeling of it stabbing in deep. And I remember the warmth of her blood as it flowed down the handle onto my fingers.
The handle? Hang on a second.
There's no blood on the handle.
There's no blood on the handle.
There's your contradiction.
Aha! So something else must have happened.
There's definitely something wrong with the memory of the event. I can just tell.
If there's a problem with her confession, please prove it to this court now.
3,
2, 1. Take that!
Isn't that the katana the defendant used to kill the victim, Mr. Wright?
I respectfully and vehemently disagree, Your Honor.
But I remember it! I remember holding the weapon and getting blood on my fingers.
That's exactly my point. If blood really did get on your fingers while you were holding it, there should be blood on the handle. But please focus on the handle of this sword. There's not a trace of blood on it. And therefore, this is clearly a contradiction of the facts.
You're right.
Oh my!
Objection! The defendant must have simply confused a portion of her memories. She mentioned it was hazy to begin with, and we can't mull over every minor detail.
Objection! But she also said there's no question I remember it, a fact we can't ignore.
In that case, why don't you explain what this contradiction with her memories means?
Gladly.
Just give me a sec to think of something. I want to say that Athena didn't stab anyone, but she said it herself that she remembers the feeling of committing the act. Think, Phoenix, think! What could the contradiction with Athena's memories mean?
Okay, remember her confession. She felt the warmth of her blood as on the handle or something. So she
might have been hugging her.
She must have
mother.
used a different weapon. What about that?
The defendant used a different weapon. Ms. Sykes said blood flowed from down the handle, but the katana's handle is spotless. So, doesn't it follow that the defendant must have used a weapon other than the katana?
Wait a minute.
Uh-oh.
What was in that utility kit? What are you up to this time?
Okay, so hold on.
No, that's not.
Hang on, no, this is the one I want. Yeah, so there must have been a screw. Look, there's blood on the end of that screwdriver.
Wait, I don't see any blood on the end of the screw. Wait,
well,
no.
unless that was just something, I don't know. But, yeah.
Think about this.
All right, anyway. Let's just, the utility knife.
Oh, boy. I think you may have figured it out.
Really?
I don't know.
Holy shit.
But it was.
Well, hang on a minute.
Now, keep going, man. Let's see.
All right, anyway. I mean, but that's what killed Clay Terran. Anyway.
What are you up to this time?
This is it. This time, I found just the thing to end Athena's nightmare for good. The weapon that took Dr. Sykes' life was the katana. That much is for sure. So if I can show a possibility that Athena didn't use the katana, it could help me prove her innocent.
A different weapon, you say? What weapon would that be exactly?
Right, of course he would ask that.
I can see you're floundering, Mr. Wright. Did you speak without thinking again, as always? Edgy, celery stick, thanks for joining the chat, whoever that may be.
Thank you.
How does he do that? But I can't back down. Not here, not now.
That's right, I did, because it's so obvious it doesn't require any thought.
What did you say?
Okay, so maybe that was an exaggeration, but there has to be something. Was there some other bladed weapon in the robotics lab that day?
Well...
Maybe there's something in one of the crime scene photos. Wait a minute. There is something. There is a high probability that that was in the lab. I don't have that particular weapon here in evidence right now, but I do have a piece of evidence just like it.
Other than the katana, this is another blade that may have been at the crime scene.
3, 2, 1.
Take that!
But that's the murder weapon in the Clay Terran case.
Yes, this is the knife that took Mr. Terran's life. But there must have been a knife just like this at the scene 7 years ago as well. Toolkits containing utility knives like this one are issued to Space Center employees, and a robotics lab especially would naturally have one of these around.
Objection! But, besides the katana, no other bladed weapon was found at the site. It was in the investigation report, if you didn't know.
Objection! Of course I knew that!
Once you told me just now.
Then here's something else you already knew. There was a toolkit at the scene, but it didn't contain any blades. Here is a photo of its contents.
Oh.
Chuck?
You're right. I don't see any kind of bladed tool.
Fine, but isn't there something odd about the design on these handles?
They're shaped like the Galaxia,
The
Gaiaxa thing.
Yeah, the logo. Therefore, there was no other bladed weapon in the room.
Objection! I disagree. This toolkit contained a knife.
And what proof do you have of that?
Don't tell me your eye for art is failing you too, Mr. Edgeworth.
You are the last person in the world who should be criticizing my aesthetic sense.
Now, he is simply watching out for your ocular health. Please proceed, Mr. Wright.
Notice that the handles of each of these tools have a sort of design on them.
Ah, I see that they do. But what significance does that have?
It's clear that one of the tools is missing from this kit. If we rearrange the tools into a specific pattern, we might be able to tell which part of the overall design is missing.
Is that the theory your pitiful sense of aesthetics helped you come up with?
Edgeworth, just let it go, man.
Show the court then, if you would. What pattern or design would we see if we were to rearrange the tools?
I'm thinking it's this. Nope, but it's on the pamphlet. Take that!
And what design is this supposed to represent?
The Gaiaxa logo, Your Honor. It's on all of the Space Center's documents and pamphlets. As you're aware, Gaiaxa is the program that operates the Cosmos Space Center.
Look at how brightly the Gaiaxa logo shines in the sunlight above the entranceway. I really dig the stars and rocket motif it's got going.
Gaiaxa, huh? Isn't that the new name of the Federal Space R&D program?
Ah, I think I see it now. But...
Yes, with just the tools shown in this photo, the red A part of the logo is missing. And this is where the murder weapon from the Terran case comes into play. If we were to place the utility knife in the open slot...
Oh.
It would complete the Gaiaxa logo.
So it would. Then that means...
Admit it, Mr. Edgeworth. My aesthetic sense is keener than yours. While you're at it, admit that the weapon Ms. Sykes used could have been this one.
No!
Order! Order in the court!
Ms. Sykes confessed to having a memory of stabbing the victim. Admittedly, Ms. Sykes most likely did stab someone, using the utility knife. However, the weapon used to kill Dr. Sykes was the katana. Therefore, the act of stabbing that Ms. Sykes remembers couldn't be that of Dr. Sykes.
Very well. Let's suppose for a minute that Miss Sykes did use the utility knife.
That explains the tear on the jacket.
Tell me, how does that change anything?
Come again?
What if the katana was only being used as a decoy to conceal the true murder weapon? What if the real weapon that took the victim's life was the utility knife?
Don't be ridiculous. Or are you changing the premise of your entire argument?
I'm merely offering a hypothetical situation derived from your logic. Ms. Sykes could have put blood on the katana to make it look like the murder weapon.
Well, why would she? That makes no sense.
And then concealed the knife on her personage until Blackquill carried her away. Chuck?
That does clear up the contradiction between Miss Sykes' memories and the evidence.
If, in fact, the murder weapon is a utility knife, then fate has dealt you a cruel hand, for you have just proven the knife's existence to the rest of us with your own logic.
Objection!
Objection! The prosecution is attempting to lead the court.
Objection! You're the one attempting to lead the court, Mr. Wright, by forcing us to forget the facts of this case. Need I remind you that there were only 2 people in the lab at the time of the murder, and that the defendant herself recalls stabbing someone with her own hands?
No.
It matters not whether the murder weapon was a katana or a utility knife. As long as we know that the victim and the defendant were the only ones there, you cannot escape the fact that it was Athena Cykes who killed her own mother.
I don't believe it! Why? Why does this keep happening? Every time I find a contradiction, it vanishes and the suspicion keeps coming back. It's almost as if...
Now you're finally starting to get it. Your contradictions keep vanishing because the charge is true, and the suspicion keeps coming back to the defendant because that's where it belongs. Phoenix Wright, when will you open your eyes and accept the truth? Long as you can.
No!
That was good.
I don't want to believe it. It can't be true. But what if?
Mr. Wright, you fought a good fight. I think you've done all you can do.
Is giving up really the only option?
No.
No. Snap out of it, Phoenix. What's the matter with you, giving in to doubt? I can't look back. Forward is the only way to go.
No, Your Honor, not yet. It isn't over yet.
Right.
I can't lose sight of what's important. I believe in Athena, and I'll always believe in her, to the very end. A defense lawyer never gives up on his client. I have to pick myself up and stand firm. Make that brain of yours work, Phoenix. If I don't see a way, I'll just have to go back and look for one. Time to rethink this case. Thoroughly.
Yep. Time to
Oh boy.
I think we'll use cave.
I can see the fact that Athena must have stabbed someone with the utility knife. This must have been what Ponko witnessed as Athena's hug. Prosecutor Blackquill didn't see the knife at the scene. This means that someone must have removed it from the lab before he arrived. Who could have taken the utility knife from the lab?
Someone else. We're getting to this. We're getting to the spy. A third person was at the scene.
If I trust in Athena, then I have to conclude that there was a third person at the scene. But according to Ponko's testimony, Athena and her mother were the only two there. So then how did this third person manage to escape Ponko's detection? I know! This person must have fooled Ponko's fake facial recognition feature by covering their own face.
Person hit their face.
With the mask that was on the wall! But wait a minute, Ponko has a heartbeat detection system too. Even if they covered their own face, Ponko would have still detected their presence. But she wouldn't have been able to tell who they were. Wait! That's it! The culprit could have covered their face and posed as which person to avoid detection?
Metis
Sykes.
The victim. The person posed as the victim.
If the culprit posed as the victim, that would explain why Ponko thought only she and Athena were there. All they had to do was take advantage of Ponko's basic recognition features. The culprit used this in order to pose as the victim.
Her jacket.
Yes, because of the ID tag.
The victim's jacket.
The culprit could have posed as the victim by wearing her jacket with the ID tag on it. But that still leaves the heartbeat detection system. How did the culprit get around that? It wouldn't have worked if Ponko could detect the real Dr. Sykes' heartbeat too.
Think about that mask.
I'm thinking, I've got my eyes, nose, and ears on it.
So does that mean that the real Dr. Sykes was already dead by that time? If that's the case, then who did Athena stab?
The real culprit.
Yeah.
Because of the jacket and the mask.
Athena stabbed the real culprit.
So that's it. The person Athena stabbed wasn't Dr. Sykes. It was the person who murdered her and then pretended to be her. The real culprit.
Drive it home, Phoenix. Do it like you always do it. Now that Mr. Wright has finally finished thinking, let us bring this to a swift end. Please give us your verdict, Your Honor, so that we can move on to hostage negotiations.
You're absolutely right, Prosecutor Edgeworth. I hereby...
Objection! I didn't say I was finished. I was only pausing for a second. Because I realized something so shocking I had to take a break to digest it. But now, I know for a fact that Ms. Sykes is innocent.
But Ponko saw me. She witnessed the moment of the crime.
Yes, Ponko did witness something. She saw the hug. In other words, the moment you used the utility knife. But the person you stabbed wasn't your mother.
What? Who do you say, Mr. Wright?
The answer is simple. The person Ms. Sykes stabbed was a third person posing as Dr. Sykes.
What?
What?
Objection! Do you really expect us to swallow that, Mr. Wright? According to the robot's statements, there was no third person there. Did you really think I wouldn't see through your ludicrous grab for time?
Objection! After all we've been through, Mr. Edgeworth, I'm disappointed. Don't you know by now that this smile of mine means I have absolute confidence?
Huh. You make that pose all the time, regardless of the facts.
Klonko's strange malfunction.
Mr. Terran, you look pale. Shall I help you to the sick bay?
Mr. Terran? But that's Apollo you're talking to.
Oh, this hunk of junk here is mistaking Apollo for Clay.
Ha ha ha!
Maybe Apollo is possessed by Clay's ghost.
That was another case of mistaken identity caused by a jacket ID tag. All because Klonko couldn't read Apollo's facial features due to that eye patch.
Oh, that's why he had that eye patch on.
To try to fool the robots?
Oh.
Like Mr. Edgeworth said, a mask could nullify the robot's facial recognition. And then, all the person would have to do is wear a jacket with the victim's ID tag to pose as her.
Objection!
Objection! Of all the ridiculous theories, what good would a silly disguise like that do? Have you forgotten that the robot also has a heartbeat detection system? If there was a third person at the scene, the robot would have detected them.
No. I'm sorry, Mr. Edgeworth, but that doesn't count for much, I'm afraid. Because by that time, Dr. Sykes' heart had already stopped beating.
What?
So does that mean?
Yes, Your Honor. The person Ms. Sykes stabbed, this third person who was posing as Dr. Sykes, is her mother's real killer.
But that's impossible!
A mask. The person I stabbed was wearing a mask.
Order! Order in the court! Miss Sykes, did you say something?
A mask? Yes. I remember. Ah!
Athena, what is it?
Ah!
Uh-oh. The Black Cyclops again. Could this be?
I remember the man with the mask. How could he? What did he do to my mother? My head. Ah!
Miss Sykes, are you alright?
No!
The Black Cyclops. They're breaking.
Oh my God! Is it really true? Unlock successful!
It's all coming back to me. Everything that happened the day my mother was murdered.
I'm okay, by the way.
They're gone. The Black Cyclops are finally gone!
You didn't really stab your mother, did you? It's all right, Athena. Just tell us what you saw that day.
I was drawing a picture. When it was done, I went to show it to my mom. I opened the door, and then...
It's all right. I'm right here. You're safe, Athena.
She was on the floor by the workbench with a katana sticking out of her. There was a handkerchief over her face. I knew it was her by her clothes. And there was a man there.
Hold it!
Hold it! Quiet, Your Honor! Go on, Athena.
He tried to attack me. In a panic, I grabbed the knife that was there and... He dodged it first, so he only got his clothes. But I tried again.
And this time you got him, didn't you?
I did. I remember it clearly now. The knife went to the back of his hand. Then he kicked me, and I passed out.
Utility knife updated in the court record.
The murder weapon used on Terran. Athena also used one of these to stab the Phantom's hand during the incident 7 years ago.
When I came to, my mom wasn't moving. I had to do something. I had to fix her, I thought. So I asked Ponko to move her to the operating table. Something's wrong with Mom, so I'm taking her apart to fix her.
Oh my God.
So that's why she said that.
Your Honor, as you can see, the defendant has just given us critical new testimony.
If that music didn't make you cry throughout that stream, you deserve a gold medal.
A man was there before Ms. Sykes arrived. A man who covered the victim's face and put on the victim's jacket. This man is the real culprit.
Miss Sykes, do you have any idea who this man was?
No, I'm afraid I don't.
A few moments ago, Ms. Sykes mentioned a mask. Athena, can you tell us anything else about that?
Yes, the mask. It was my mom's Japanese theater mask. I think it was the one hanging on the wall of the lab.
Excuse me.
Judge, Chuck?
This mask hanging here on the wall.
It was kind of spooky, that mask. My mom used to tell me that a gnome mask even has the power to turn an ordinary human being into a phantom.
Oh! I wonder if it's someone from Athena's past.
I don't know.
Anyway.
A phantom?
It would seem that a new suspect has emerged. And that means all suspicion against Miss Sykes has...
Hold it! You see? This is precisely why I can't trust the court system. Athena Sykes is the murderer. I won't accept any other verdict.
Ms. Blackquill!
This is not good.
A new suspect? Where's the proof this person ever existed? Who says it wasn't all just a dream in the little princess's groggy little head?
She's right. We don't have any hard evidence of the masked
Man's existence.
Oh, oops, sorry. Do it again.
She's right. We don't have any hard evidence of the masked man's existence.
Oh. Objection! Thank you, Mr. Wright. I'll never be able to repay you for all you've done. But I'm fine now, because I can say with certainty that I didn't kill my mother.
Yeah! Athena, I'm so glad for you.
More and more memories are coming back now. So I'd like to say one thing if I could. Paco came to the robotics lab at about 2 p.m. to recharge.
I went to the robotics lab at about 2 p.m. for my regular recharge. Just as I was about to charge up, Athena came in and hugged Mommy Menace. And then Mommy Menace fell down. After that, I was recharging, so I don't know anything.
I see where you're going with this. If Mommy Menace was really the killer in disguise...
Right. Then he must have come to the robotics lab before 2 p.m.
Do I have anything here in the evidence that can help me find this person who came to the lab before 2 p.m.?
The security video.
The security video.
Run it back.
Take that! This is Prosecutor Blackquill leaving the scene after the incident at around 3 p.m. What I'm wondering is, does the video show anyone else passing by there before then?
I don't see anything in the investigation report. It looks like they didn't check.
Just as I thought. So if we rewind the footage and go back to around 2 p.m., we should be able to see the true culprit leaving the scene.
Very well then. Let's take a look.
Remix.
There! Please stop it right there!
Hey, there's that wound.
Oh.
It's just like you said. There's a man leaving the scene of the crime.
And he's got a rip in his jacket and blood on his hand.
Uh-oh.
Hey, somebody else had blood on their hand.
Who?
Remember the case from the Themis Legal Academy? But I mean, well, this is different. Anyway, Ms. Sykes, do you remember this person?
That's him! I'm sure of it! He's wearing my mother's jacket! He did. But what I really wanted to see was her jacket.
That jacket on display, that was Dr. Sykes's?
Can you see it? There's the slash I made with the utility knife that day. And I'm sure that knife is under that jacket somewhere.
So then, everything Miss Sykes said...
Exactly. It proves that Ms. Sykes' memory was correct. Dr. Sykes' killer arrived at the robotics lab before 2 p.m. He killed her and hid her face with a handkerchief. Then he disguised himself with Dr. Sykes' jacket and mask that were there in the lab.
The culprit probably knew beforehand that Paco charged up at 2 p.m. every day. So he waited for Paco to come to the lab for her regular recharge.
By leaving Dr. Sykes' jacket on, the culprit tricked Paco into thinking he was Dr. Sykes, thereby making it look like she was alive up to that point in time. All to disguise the real time of death.
Objection! It's a nice theory, Mr. Wright, but I'm afraid that it's just not possible.
What? Why not? The victim's jacket is clearly visible right there in this video.
And that right there is precisely the problem.
What?
The ID tag on the jacket at the scene the ID tag on the jacket at the scene confirms beyond doubt that it belonged to the victim. If the person who left the lab truly was wearing the victim's jacket, then how could it possibly have wound up back at the crime scene?
Oh. Interesting.
What's going on? That doesn't make sense. Edgeworth's right. If the culprit was wearing the jacket, how did it get back to the lab?
I think the killer brought it back.
Yeah, I think the killer brought it back. The killer used the jacket as a disguise to make his escape. But in order to conceal that fact, he had to get the jacket back to the crime scene. So the culprit simply returned to the robotics lab later and planted it there. Contradiction resolved.
Objection. Except that it would have been impossible. The only people who came into the robotics lab after the killer were Prosecutor Blackquill and the people who reported the body. And they claimed that the jacket was there when they arrived. So, when do you propose this mysterious man of yours had the chance to return the jacket?
A puzzling question indeed.
When did the culprit have the chance to bring the jacket back?
When the body was found.
The only time the culprit could have returned the jacket was when the body was found.
Mr. Wright, do you realize the implication of that argument?
One of the people that discovered the body is the killer. I do. Most people, when they come across a murder, focus their attention on the body. The culprit could have taken advantage of that split second to plant the jacket. In other words, the true culprit of this case, the man known as the Phantom, was one of the first people to discover the body.
I would never have thought of that.
I wouldn't have either.
Order in the court. What is the meaning of this, Prosecutor Edgeworth?
The body was discovered and reported by a group of 3 people. They were there to collect the space probe's capsule in preparation for the HAT-1 launch. One of those people had a special bag to transport the capsule in.
Ora Blackquill was one of them, and there were 2 cops. One of them was posing as a cop. Oh, you mean the shock-resistant bag?
Correct. I suppose that if the jacket was in that bag, it could have been returned to the scene of the crime without anyone noticing. I'll see to it that you get the reports on those 3 people.
You will?
We should also check the facial recognition database for that robot. If this person felt the need to hide his face with a theater mask, it might mean that his facial data was once registered.
Oh, shit. Now we're getting to the nitty-gritty here. It wasn't Clay, was it? It couldn't have been, because Clay's dead.
Yeah, he's dead.
Professor Edgeworth, does this mean?
I have to admit, I believe Miss Sykes' memories to be credible. You win, Wright. Not that this was ever an official trial anyway.
Do my ears deceive me? Prosecutor Edgeworth, are you actually conceding?
What?
Is it true, boss? Does this mean
I can't believe it. It's over. I won. I proved that both Athena and Prosecutor Blackquill are innocent. Your Honor, I see no need to further prolong this trial.
Objection! Hold on, Mr. Wright. Have you forgotten who's in charge of this trial?
Uh-oh. Yep.
That's right. I'm the one who's supposed to say, I see no need to further prolong.
Not you either, Your Honor. Now silence.
Little princess who was truly beloved by Metis and who repaid that love with death. All these years, hating Athena was the only thing that's kept me going. But what do I do now? Can anybody tell me? How am I supposed to go on?
Miss Blackquill. How unlike you, Aura. Metis was deeply passionate about her work, and she chose you as her partner. Isn't that?
Shut up, Simon! You know exactly how I felt about her! Her respect as a co-worker wasn't all that was... Her respect as a co-worker wasn't all that I wanted!
Then what did you want from her?
Did you really just go there, Your Honor? Aura, there is something I've wanted to say, if you will lend me an ear. I have in my possession a lead on who Metis's murderer is.
Uh-oh. You do?
Uh-oh.
Then what the heck is he keeping silent for?
Oh, boy.
Right, Dono. You asked me about the identity of the Phantom of 7 years past. That's right. The Phantom. The person Blackquill has been looking for, even from behind bars. 7 years ago, somebody hatched a plan to sabotage the Hat 1 rocket.
The spy.
But he was no ordinary spy. We knew naught about him, his background, appearance. We came to refer to him as the Phantom. At the time, I was working with the police to hunt him down. And then one day a miracle occurred, and I obtained a lead on him.
Oh, how exciting. What was the lead?
A recording of the Phantom's voice, but the quality was too poor for proper voice analysis. Yet I had hope. Aura's co-worker was a scientist who could analyze human emotions, so I asked her to evaluate the recording using analytical psychology. And that scientist was Dr. Sykes! Yes, a spy's greatest fear is to have his true identity discovered. In addition to Hat 1, Dr. Sykes' results in the recording were surely among his targets. But his search of the Space Center bore no fruit, so he must have started to panic.
He couldn't find them? But where could they have been?
Who is to say? Wow, I bet he's never let that out of his sight all these years.
How in the world did you smuggle them into prison?
Oh, I have my ways. What's more, my partner is especially talented at that sort of thing. Taka!
Hey!
I worked to lure the Phantom in by spreading rumors throughout the underworld. I was even granted permission to prosecute cases to attract the Phantom's attention. Just try to retrieve your identity, you bloody butcher, became my taunt. And what about the results Dr. Sykes drew up for you? Was there any useful information? Here, you can see for yourself, but take good care of it. It's all I have left of my mentor. I will. I better hold on to this real tight. Phantom Psych profile added to the court record.
The subject's emotions rarely fluctuate, and he doesn't experience feelings like normal people do.
Oh my gosh.
Oh boy.
Psychological profile. Classified. Emotional output of this voice extremely weak compared to typical voices. Subject deemed to have unique psychological makeup with almost no emotional fluctuation. No emotional fluctuation, huh? A spy who experiences no emotions, not sadness, nor anger, and naturally no fear. He is the very definition of a phantom, a monster with no heart. Don't you see? Huh. This creature is the rot that destroyed our lives and set what ails us all into motion.
The Phantom indeed. A fitting name for the one who has brought darkness to our world.
Well then. It seems a fate image of this man has started to take shape. Based on what we have learned, I'd like all of you to conduct further investigation. This is not a formal trial, but I do want to follow protocol. If I may, I'd like to hand down my verdicts and bring these proceedings to an end.
Whatever. Do what you want.
You'll hear no objections from me.
Yes, please, Your Honor.
It's over. It's finally over.
Very well. In that case, Prosecutor Blackquill, could you please take the stand?
Here we go.
As a result of this trial, your innocence has been proven. The verdict handed down 7 years ago is hereby overturned.
Yay!
And now, the defendant of the current trial, Miss Athena Cykes.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, thank you. Thank you for everything.
Athena, you're more than welcome.
If everyone is ready, I will now give my verdict.
Objection!
No fucking way.
You!
Oh no.
Oh shit.
Apollo!
What is the meaning of this?
Congratulations, Mr. Wright and Prosecutor Edgeworth. You uncovered the truth from 7 years ago, and you saved Prosecutor Blackquill. However, I can't allow this trial to end just yet.
What?
Why, Apollo? Why would you do this to us?
What is
a double ganger?
To be continued. Apollo, why? Why indeed?
Oh no, you don't know what's going on?
You don't know what's going on? Well,
I think I know exactly what's going on. Well, okay. Well, we got to bring these proceedings to a halt. So, let's go back to intermission here. So, folks, that's part 2 of our series season finale. Tune in next week, Monday,
August 15th.
It's August 12th.
August 12th.
Monday, August 12th will be the season finale.
Part 3.
Part 3. And I hope there's only 3 parts.
There probably is. I think that last one is all there is to it.
Yep. So I'll tell you what, Gamer Biker, thank you so much for voicing the judge for us. We definitely want you back.
Yeah, that was fun. I actually enjoyed that. And you guys like really lured me into the story. I know I lost my place a couple times there, but I was like getting so sucked into that.
Oh yeah, it's great. You picked a really good time to get involved in this.
Yeah,
so
and make sure you check out the archives for all the rest of our videos. See if you want to, get further to the story. And
don't forget, at any point, scan that QR code and donate to St. Jude's. Give till it hurts. So until next time, kids. I'm the Cannonball Alex Steele.
I am the Package Andrew Steele.
We are the Steele Brothers, and we are for real. Top Guys out.